Ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea's campaign kicks off Monday Night Football against Fulham at Craven Cottage at 8 p.m. I can't wait for it. The Premier League season is back. It's going to be exciting. It's very much a season that's up in the air of not knowing what could happen with a bunch of different coaches and managers and signings. And yeah, it's all up in the air. It's all up in the air. But let's talk about Chelsea versus Fulham. This is going to be a very, very tough first game. Like any season opener, the ones you don't want to face is like an away game or a newly promoted side, because it's going to be, players are going to be buzzing, the fans are going to be buzzing. So Chelsea against a London rival have to switch on really, really early on here, because this is going to be a tough game. This is going to be a tough game. And to start it off with our match preview analysis, let's talk about the managers. Xabi Alonso and Arbeloa. I believe they both were at Liverpool together and Real Madrid. They both managed Real Madrid, which is interesting. So I was doing some research. I checked a couple of stats. My stats guy was like, this is what you need. My stats guy being me and Google. And this is what has come up with. So let's break it down. This was their 23 matches in charge of Real Madrid. Obviously, Alonso was there at the start, and then I think Arbeloa was there at the end. But I don't really want to get too much into the Real Madrid stuff, because I'm not basing both of them off of Real Madrid. So both played 23. Alonso's won 16, lost 4, drew 3, scored 47, conceded 23 with 51 points. Arbeloa, 14 wins, 7 losses, 2 draws, 49 goals, but more goals conceded at 44 points. Both were chasing Barcelona at the time. Obviously, Barcelona won the league. Terrible ball knowledge, I don't know. So yeah, as I said, Real Madrid is probably not the best place to compare them, but Arbeloa is definitely the more inexperienced manager, considering Alonso has been at Leverkusen with the unbeaten season, which he's going to do with Chelsea, right? Like, come on. It's pretty much confirmed. I jest, obviously. But I just thought that was quite an interesting stat. Not so much difference in terms of, like, points, goals conceded and stuff like that. Only a few in between them both. But whether that's more of like a tactical thing, or you just, when you coach Real Madrid, it's kind of like you let the players take control. They got their own egos and stuff like that. So yeah, that I thought that was quite an interesting little stat to come up with. I don't know if that's what they both finished on. My stats guy didn't go all the way thoroughly deep, I must admit, but yeah, I thought that was a pretty interesting stat to come up with in their first 23 games for Real Madrid. So next thing I wanted to compare was the signings of each manager. Now, obviously, Arbeloa is kind of a newbie at coaching. Alonso is not, even though he's still quite inexperienced himself. So I wanted to check the signings. Now, when it comes to Chelsea, our signings was very much by the board, but you could see, especially this year, that we were listening to Xabi of what he wanted or what they went out and got. It just kind of made sense, but they were kind of like making up for the terrible signings they made the years before. So it's one of them. But comparing the signings for both, obviously Chelsea have got the bigger wage, bigger budget, you name it, bigger everything, bigger cojones. So obviously we signed Rodgers, Lacroix, Palestra, Quenda, Barco, Amiga, Chavaria, Danny Welbeck, Jordan Henderson. And then I thought it was quite interesting. Obviously, you can see the connection that Arbeloa had. Maybe he was, I don't know if he was like an under-21s coach or something like that before he stepped up. But yeah, they got a few Barcelona, don't mention them in the same breath, Real Madrid players. So was it Garcia and Palacios? I must admit, I don't know much about them. I didn't watch a lot of Real Madrid. I don't know, but they're quite young players. Obviously, 40 mil for Garcia seems quite hefty, but in today's day and age, anything's hefty. So, and then they brought someone from Southampton, which was Charles. I believe I remember seeing Charles play, or his name popping up for Southampton. But again, another young player, so you can kind of see maybe his identity of what he wants at Fulham, which is that young core of players mixed with the experience that they have in, like, was it Leno, Bassi, Iwobi. Don't get me started about Iwobi. He's probably going to score against us. But again, that's the comparison. I mean, start of the season, you can definitely see where the money is at. It's definitely Chelsea. So I thought that was quite an interesting little thing I could show you. So I'll take those away. And now we go on to preseason. Who had the better preseason? Let's see. So, Chelsea's preseason, we beat the Western Sydney Wanderers up the Joust 6-4. Lost to Tottenham and Juventus. We don't talk about that. Preseason doesn't matter. And then we won against AC Milan, drew to Johor, and beat Sociedad, which obviously kind of like a mix. You want to win every game in preseason, but if you lose, it doesn't matter. That's the thing. So you want to win every game. Chelsea won what? 3? 1-3, drew 1, lost 2. It's okay. Obviously, a lot of players weren't there. A lot of good minutes for everybody. So I would say towards the end for Chelsea, it was very much more like a positive preseason, barring like the draw, but that was kind of like our B/C players. So that was good. And then while I was researching for Fulham, they drew to Al Halil. I'm not cultured, I don't know how you say this. Farenzi. Lost to Crystal Palace, which could be a telling sign, but you know, drew 2-2 with Malaga and beat Stuttgart 1-0, which is always difficult. But yeah, again, very similar to Chelsea. I don't know if they played more than 5 games. That's just what I did up on a quick search. Was it 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss? So not so much of a difference against Chelsea. Whereas Chelsea, I think, won 1 more game than them. So yeah, again, pretty standard, pretty good preseason, I would say, for both. Obviously, you know, I don't know what the signs are coming from Fulham fans, but you know, you gotta back him. No Marco Silva anymore, I believe it was the year before, possibly. So yeah, Arbeloa is the guy. And then league positions, which I thought was also quite funny. For last year, Chelsea were 10th, Fulham were 11th. Both level on points. We were ahead of them just because of goal difference. Now Chelsea had what a stinker of a season we had, you know, with Enzo Maresca leaving halfway through. He definitely wanted City halfway through. We get that. Obviously, Enzo Maresca didn't get along with the board because the board wants to pick the lineups. They want to pick the players you sign and so on and so forth. We had Callum McFarlane, I think, in there twice. Before Liam Rossini and after, I want to say. And then we had Liam Rossini, the man and age, and putting the man age together, and that's how. And then we were building Legos, and godly seasons can be tough to watch sometimes. But anyway. But I thought, again, another interesting tale, very much the same in terms of like where we were in league position. Obviously, Chelsea probably spent quadruple the amount they did, but then Fulham did. So again, very interesting. And then one thing I didn't get a screenshot of was what the split was for last season. So I think Fulham won 2-1. I've wrote it down somewhere in my book because I'm a nerd. Fulham won 2-1. Which was interesting because Jimenez and Wilson scored. Jimenez is now at Wolves. Wilson is at Leeds now. So that's 2 players they haven't got there anymore, which is interesting because Wilson was a good player. So Leeds have got a good little backup. Good to signing over there. And then Jimenez is obviously, he was getting on a bit, but he's still a prolific goal scorer, solid goal scorer to come off the bench. And then Chelsea at home, we won 2-0 with Pedro and I think an Enzo Fernandez penalty. I think Cucurella got a red card in that 2-1 loss to Fulham, which was interesting. That might have been the time where we get a red card like every game. Fun times. So that was good. Now, the Chelsea lineup. I was flip-flopping like what I always do because I'm a flip-flopper. And in terms of lineup, this is what I've gone for. Now, I said in my review of the Real Sociedad game that I believe we saw the starting lineup that would go against Fulham. So I'm going to stick with that starting lineup we had. So that is Sanchez in goal, Colwell, Lacroix, Fofana, with Palestra left wing back, Caicedo, James, Neto, with Rodgers, Palmer, and João Pedro at top. I think that will be the starting. Now, obviously, a lot of things can change. I am filming this like a week before. I say filming this like Steven Spielberg. Recording this like a week before. Now, I don't know if there's any red cards that come into play last game of the season or injuries between now and then, but this is my predicted lineup. I think Neto, with the assist he got, he's done enough to kind of stay there. Now, whether he wants to be this kind of attacking against Fulham, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to go someone like a Pep Travaria left wing back and then Palestra right wing back and keep the midfield. Possibly. You could do a couple of things, whether Fofana would drop out and then James would go in right centre back with Lavia in midfield. I don't think Enzo starts. I don't think he starts, but it'd be very, very interesting. Again, how he features in and how he gets in, because I think we are pretty much seeing a starting 11 now. I think as I said, we saw it against Sociedad. Other than maybe Neto, I think Palestra then goes to right wing back and Chavaria goes left wing back, because I don't think you buy Chavaria to not play him. But then again, I'm not against Hato. Hato's a wonderful player, so if he goes left wing back, I'm happy for that as well, or left centre back, wherever he wants to go. Yeah, I think that would be a solid team. I think that is enough to get the job done. So my score prediction is 2-1 Chelsea. I think Alex Iwobi scores for Arsenal. Fuck Arsenal. I think Alex Iwobi scores for Fulham, because he always does. And I think João Pedro, because that boy is on fire, and a Cole Palmer penalty. That is my prediction. 2-1 Chelsea. Monday Night Football, 8 o'clock. I am going to be doing a watch-along of that as well on Monday. So if you are interested, please stop by the watch along. I very much appreciate it. Get involved. I'm trying to build a wonderful Chelsea community, or football community, or whatever you'd like to say, possibly mainly Chelsea. So yeah, I'd appreciate it. So if you could like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below your score predictions for the game, and I will catch you wonderful people in the next video. Peace out, y'all.